First of all, if you see a lot of breaks in this video, is because probably I had to go and get some water to try and breathe, because yeah, it's tough to speak without water next to me. Hello beautiful bookworms, my name is Katarina and welcome to my channel. So today is the day that I do my now weekly thingy on my channel, which is discussing the latest Outlander episode. And for those of you that don't know what Outlander is, it's a series of books that is currently being transformed into a TV series. And I decided I was going to do a discussion about the third season of that show that is currently coming out, and we are now on episode 3, which was what I'm going to discuss in this video. So if you want to know my thoughts about the first and second episode, they are all together in one video, and I will leave the playlist that I am making with these videos down below so that it will be easier for you to just go and check it out. Just a disclaimer, if you know nothing about Outlander, the plot of the books or the plot of the series, I don't recommend you watch this, because although I try to be the most spoiler-free that I can for people that haven't watched the episode, I am not very spoiler-free to people that haven't watched the previous seasons and to people that haven't read the books, because obviously I have to discuss plot points in here. So if you haven't watched Outlander, I would recommend that you would read the books because you'll enjoy it a lot, but you don't really have to, in a way that I do believe that the series up until now is kind of very well based in the books, so you can just go and watch the first 2 seasons and then come and discuss with me the third one if you want. You're still on time, so go and do your thing. But for those of you that know the plot, know the stories of the books, or know the season and are following it, let's just begin with our discussion for the third episode. So, where do I begin? So in the third episode, we see, and this was something that actually shocked me a little bit, we see time passing really fast, faster than we have seen in the other 2 episodes, because we know that they are going to be, like, I believe 20-something years apart, our main characters, Jamie and Claire. But now we see the years passing through. We see Claire and Jamie's daughter, Brianna, getting older and older. We see her birthday party. We see her graduating, which was really cool, because I enjoyed the moment where Frank and Claire were there for her when she graduated. It was really beautiful. I really enjoyed it. And we see all of the time that Jamie passes in prison until the prison has a new warden, a new director, and it was so fast. And a thing that I noticed, and my mom that watches the show with me, it's probably that and Game of Thrones, and we don't watch anything else together because she doesn't care about TV shows. I don't know why, because I believe that she would enjoy it, but for some reason these 2 stuck with her, so she watches it with me. And something that I noticed, and she noticed as well, is that although Frank really looks a lot older in this third episode as time progresses, Claire and Jamie don't look that much old, you know what I mean. Like, you can see that her hair is combed in a different way. You can see that she has that strange highlight with the white thingy in her hair. Like, I don't even know where that comes from, because in the book it wasn't like that. She wasn't described like that. Her aging process was not like that. But okay, fine, you want to do the pretty highlights, cool, whatever. You see that, but you see that she only looks older because of the makeup and everything. You don't see actually the character aging, which is sort of surprising, but you can say that if you would see the character aging, maybe the mystique of the entire show would be gone, because our main characters, our main couple still has to be young, and you know what I mean. But although I didn't particularly enjoy it, because it passed, like, 10 years? No, more than 10 years, actually. It passed a lot. No, it passed actually precisely 20 years. I don't really know how much time it passed because it gets a little bit confused in the TV show how much time it passed, but I know that currently at the time that we stand, probably it has passed kind of almost 30 years, 20 years, sorry, almost 20 years maybe. So there's a lot of time to be passing without them getting older. So they get older in attitudes and in ways that they see the world, but not themselves, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that's the thing that I just noticed. It doesn't bother me much, although that highlight thing, it kills me because what is that? But okay, whatever. So that's that. One of the things that I've noticed is that Frank, for instance, you see a lot of his story being developed, which is something that you don't really see in the third book, in Voyager. You don't really know a lot about Frank because you're seeing things from Claire's perspective because she's always the main narrator of the books. And then you see things from Jamie's perspective. And although he's not the main narrator, you have to see from his perspective to know what's going on. But you only know things about Frank that Claire tells you, pretty much. But in the show, they're doing something that is really great, in my opinion, obviously, that they're showing Frank and a little bit of plot that has to do with him and what he feels and how he's reacting to everything and how the ages are passing, the years are passing by him too, and he's there too in this story. And I do enjoy that, and I do believe that the actor is doing a fantastic job portraying Frank. And obviously he always did, portraying Frank and his ancestor, but it's great. And I do notice that the emotions are deeper in this third episode because we have the talk about Claire and Frank getting a divorce that he doesn't want to do because he feels that he's going to lose his daughter that he actually loves. And how beautiful is that he can love a girl that is not even her dad, but he feels like he is because he was always there for her, and he feels a love for her that, well, I wouldn't put my hands in the fire and say that every man that has a child would feel, and he does, and it's really beautiful. And he doesn't get a divorce, he doesn't get a better life because he wants to be with her and he doesn't want to lose her. But then when she turns 18, it's like he's free. If she wants to go with him, she will go with him, and he knows that she would want to go with him, so he wants to get a divorce. And all of the emotions of those conversations, the emotions of a marriage falling apart, of him having a lover that he wants to marry, of Claire being alone and inside her little bubble, just her med school bubble, and she can't see anything else because being in medicine and graduating in medicine is what is preventing her from falling apart because she misses Jamie. She doesn't know how to cope with her life. She loves Frank, but at the same time it's not the same thing, and she can't live in this anymore. So she just closes herself in that bubble, and Frank can't take it anymore, and she can't take it anymore, and it's really hard. And I do believe that it's very hard to watch that plot without blaming someone, mainly Claire, because you were like, girl, why can't you just stay with a man that loves you and treats your child right and whatever. But I don't think we should blame Claire because obviously she's been through a lot. She lost the love of her life, and that's not even easy. She believes him dead because there was a battle going on when she went, so she doesn't even know that he's alive. So imagine that. Imagine losing the most important person of your life and not knowing if he's dead or alive, or she's dead or alive, or something. It's actually very hard, and it doesn't justify everything that she does, but try and understand that although she loves Frank and she wants the support that is giving her and her daughter, she also blames him for supporting them because she wants him to be mad at her. And when he finally lashes out, she understands that's not what she wanted. She just wanted to live a life where they could be happy, and that's why all of the emotions in this episode were so on point. I loved it. And one thing that I loved still in the Claire, Frank, Brianna plot of the thing was that we got to see the discussion that happened before Frank had his car accident, which is something that we know about, but it's not very, how should I say this? It's not very detailed in the book. It's there, it's talked about, but it's not very like it was this with his emotions and whatever. And that discussion was so sad and so heart-wrenching to just watch. And I know that I cried a little bit when she found out that he was dead, because I knew that was coming, but I didn't know, you know, it's hard. It's always hard to know that, because he was an important part of her life. And as she told him when he was dead, she told him, like, you were my first love. And although he wasn't the strongest love of her life, he was always there, and he was the first person that made her feel something. And that's very important. And they overcame so much stuff together that in the end, it just ended like that, with a discussion and with an accident. And it was really a punch in the heart, if you know what I mean. And I don't know if you felt that way. I don't know if you think it was badly portrayed or something, but for me it was really good portrayed. I really enjoyed it. Although I felt like she wasn't as sad as she should be. I understand why, because although it was the first man that she loved and the man that she shared so much with, the one she truly loved was probably also dead, and she had shared her tears for him, or she was still thinking that she lost him. So you know what I mean? It's very hard to understand this. But one thing that I'm really upset with is they are slowly eliminating all of the plot thingies that happened with her colleague, her med school colleague, Joe, and I think it's Joe Abernathy, I believe. I'm not really good with second character names. They sometimes confuse me, but I believe it's that. And he was so awesome in the books. It was one of my favorite characters, secondary characters, because it was really great. He was always there for her. He was so understanding to a point, and there are a lot of plot things that happen between them and between the family and everything that I do believe that should be there, but they were just rushed because the authors of the TV show, the director, wanted to get to the plot points faster. And so in an hour, you can't really just go with all of the book. It's a really big book and you have to cut some things. But I was kind of sad because I like that character. And for the people that are watching the TV show right now and then don't know anything about the books, Joe Abernathy is just a dude that is there and is the colleague of Claire, and he's a med guy. He's a doctor now. He's there. And I'm sad about that. I really like Joe Abernathy, but I understand that sometimes sacrifices have to be made, but I don't really know if I'm happy with that, so I will just see how the series progresses and try and see that. But now for the Jamie plot point. I was so happy, first of all, that they finally got John Gray. Finally. I was waiting for this for so long because John Gray is freaking awesome. Like, I adore him. He's my favorite cinnamon roll. For real. He's awesome. Since he appeared as a kid, that you know that he was a kid that Jamie spared the life and in the woods, in the Preston Pun battle, I do believe that's how it's called. I'm not really sure because my French is not really good. But yeah. Since then, I've been waiting for him to appear because I knew that he was going to appear, and I was so happy to see him waltz into that prison. Like, yeah, what is this? Why am I the director of this now? And why do I have to dine with Jamie fucking Fraser? Like, I don't want to dine with him because he just humiliated me, and I know why he saved because of the freaking stupid promise that I made when I was a kid. But the dynamic between those two characters is amazing, and I do believe that John Gray just brings out something in the character of Jamie Fraser that a lot of other secondary characters or main characters can't. And I love to see their relationship. I love their dynamics. I love how they put in it the plot where he goes and searches for the the treasure of King Stuart is just amazing. I just love it. And I loved that little confrontation that he and John Grey had, where he tells him to murder him, like kill me, because he still wants to die, he still thinks it's not worth it. But after that confrontation, when John Grey spares his life, he just believes that there's something to fight for. He's just like, well, I've given up on life, but now I haven't. And their conversations, their chess game, the acts of mercy and the nice acts that John Grey has to the prisoners that he didn't have to have, you know what I mean, are just, they fill my heart with so much joy, and I can't wait to see how this will progress. I know that now Jamie is going to a nobility house, like to a castle, to serve the nobles that live there, and I know what's going to happen after that, but I'm not going to say anything if you are just watching the TV show and haven't read the books. But I can't wait for that plot, because if done well, it's a really cool plot, and I understand why the writers and the directors wanted to get to that plot point before, and they rushed everything else. But I am really sad that we've seen John Grey only in one episode, and he's now gone until he comes to check on him every trimester, as he says. But I really enjoy that dynamic. I enjoyed how Jamie Fraser's character grew in prison, like how he just got there and he was instantly made their leader, how he was the only one considered dangerous and the only one wearing shackles for 3 years, and how he was so dynamic, so smart, and how he just was more cunning, but at the same time still the same Jamie, still worried more about others than himself, if you know what I mean. It was a great plot. It was awesomely done. I think it was done better than probably the Claire and Frank plots, because for the Frank part I think it was amazing, but for the Claire part it was something missing there. And yeah, I just think that was really rushed, although I do understand, because probably what we want is not spending an entire season watching Brianna grow and Claire being having lessons and stuff like that. I know that we don't want to see that, but it felt really rushed, and the Jamie plot didn't for me. It felt a natural progression of something, because it was so very well presented after what happened. Like in the last episode, he was transported to prison because he was he went to visit Jenny, and they agreed that he was going to be captured by the guards. So it was just a natural progression. And with Claire, she just had her first lesson to be a doctor, you know, a first lesson as a medical student. And then in the next one, she's already graduating. She's already, her husband is already with the girl. Everything is just going so fast. Their daughter is already getting graduated. Like, what is this? It was so fast. I was like, okay, I understand, but it looks like I'm watching one of those pictures that go really fast and you just see them changing as they go, you know? I don't really know how that's called. I'm a little bit lost, probably because of my allergies, not letting me think, but you get what I'm saying. And for the Jamie plot, it was really cool, and I really enjoyed it, and I think it's been very well done, and I can't wait for the next episode and to see how it is. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like it, leave a like or subscribe, and I want to know in the comments down below, how are you feeling about the season so far? If you felt the same thing as I did, or if you feel like I'm wrong and the plot is just going as it should, or if you still feel it's going slower or rushed or whatever, or if you want to see other things happening, please try to give spoiler warnings if you will talk about something spoilery, because for the next episodes, because I really don't want people to get spoiled for the next episodes, because I understand how bad it is to don't being able to follow a show like people want to, like episode per episode. So just give that warning to people if you want to talk about it, but do talk about it, because I really want to know how you're feeling about the series. I'm enjoying it so far, although the first 2 episodes for me were very slow pace, and this one was very rushed. So for me, it's still like, okay, I'm liking it, but I'm slowly getting into it. I am not still like, oh my god, I'm letting it. No, not yet. So yeah, let's see how that goes. So yeah, that is all for today, guys. So I hope you enjoy it, and yeah, happy readings to you all. Bye!